We just want to finish the classic Tradition of Haiku book, an anthology by Faubion Bowers. It comes from Simply E, New York Public Library. Anyways, Faubion Bowers actually was a translator for MacArthur, General MacArthur. He tried to preserve Japanese culture from getting too wrecked after the war. But anyways, we are finished in part 6. We had finished some Busan, and we come to some later poets. The part 7, Oshima Urota, 1718 to 1789, 87. He says, Samidari ya, all the rains of June, and one evening secretly through the pines the moon. Oh no. Nothing, my poem disappeared.
Can you read it twice?
Okay, here we go. Then the next poem, Mano Iwa, poem again? Yeah, all the rains of June, and one evening secretly through the pines the moon. Next poem is Mano Iwasu, saying nothing, guest and host, and white chrysanthemum. Next poet is Tagami.
Read them all twice.
Saying nothing, guest and host, and chrysanthemum. Rota, this poet, is a pupil of Ran Setsu and one of the first to rediscover Basho. This is quite interesting. He says, Don Klein observes that Rota published 200 books of poems and attained 2,000 disciples, but hardly a single poem has survived the test of time. Oh my goodness, dear. They didn't survive. Oh, it's... next poet, Tagami Kikusha ni, 1753-1826. A Buddhist nun and friend of Isha. Tama ni gi ni, in spirit and in truth, silent prayer, just the moon on the road. In spirit and in truth, silent prayer, just the moon on the road. Agami awanti uto, let's all adore in the same well of clouds this one moon. She says, let's all adore in the same well of clouds this one moon. The moon connotates enlightenment in Buddhism. The well of clouds, according to William Higginson, is the sky of this illusionary world. So she says, let's all adore in the same well of clouds this one moon. So everyone in the world, in the illusionary world, let's adore enlightenment. Now we come to Kobayashi Isha. Of course, he's one of the top poets. They say he's the third of the four greats of haiku. His father was a peasant farmer and pack-horse hustler in what we today call the Japan Alps. Isha literally means one tea, indicating that life is as empty as froth on a cup of tea. Interesting. Isha is just a cup of tea. So should we have tea while we read him? Gin Kobayashi ISSA, ISSA, 1763 to 1827. 1827 is getting closer to the modern era. Wari tu kaiti. Oh, won't some orphan sparrow come and play with me? Won't some orphan sparrow come play with me? Apparently, says Isha's mother died when he was 2, still suckling at the breast. His grandmother asked neighbors and even passers-by to nurse the child for her. He claimed he wrote this masterpiece of pathos at age 6. He used the word sparrow, however. A picture Isha later drew to illustrate the poem shows a swallow. He wrote this at age 6?
Why not? What's a great history?
They start young here. He started as a young poet. Oh, won't some orphan sparrow come and play with me? But he is an orphan, isn't he?
So he knows. So he thinks he's alone because he's an orphan. So
he has a grandmother. Mata muda ni. Once more in vain the stepchild bird opens its beak. Once more in vain the stepchild opens its beak. I think he may have gotten a mean stepmother, though. It says here, Isha's notoriously wicked stepmother often punished him by withholding food. Ooh. In his famous autobiography, he wrote, I was beaten 100 times a day, 1,000 times a month, in the 356 days of the lunar.
That's enough.
There was never one when my eyes were not swollen. Poor guy suffered, though. You should know.
It seems in Japan they punish children bad.
He suffered. He had a mean stepmother, okay? I think you should know that. Mean. Once more in vain the stepchild bird opens its beak. Here's another one. Susumi no ko. Young sparrows, get out of the way. Get out of the way. Actually, this one refers to something about he's remembering his childhood when he rode a hobby horse outside his house imitating the great lords, preceded by the retainer shouting, make way. It says make way, so he's like the sparrow, I guess. He feels like a bird. Does he feel like a bird? Young sparrows, get out of the way, get out of the way. Remember the Lord comes passing by and they say, make way. Oh, there's another line. A great horse is coming by. Young sparrows, get out of the way, get out of the way.
So not to be hurt.
A great horse is coming by.
So the horse could hurt them. No, the sparrows, no.
Now we have Dokatoka 2. Thud, thud. Upon the flowers drops the horse turd. Ooh. The flowers. Okay, no comment. Yari utasu na. Hey, don't swat. The fly wrings his hands on bended knees. That's strange. Hey, don't swat. The fly wrings his hands on bended knees. Is the fly speaking here? Yasigaru. Puny frog, don't give up. Isha's here. He says, Puny frog, don't give up. Isha's here. Do you know, remember how you said, remember we saw the nature show how the frogs were fighting over the ladies?
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
Yeah.
They get pretty mean. It says, written on seeing two bullfrogs fight during mating season. Typically, Isha takes the side of the weakling. He sides with the weakling. And then he says, here's what he says. He says, Puny frog, don't give up. Isha's here. Well, how's that going to help him?
That's fine.
How's it going to help him?
The children do. They talk that way. That's the child.
I don't see how it's going to help the frog. Anyways, it's just a poem. Poems don't get respect.
Don't they support men? People don't support others when they play boxing.
You like these? It's interesting. There are nice little. They're almost like haiku poems by children. If you take the young ones. Sumi no kumo. Don't get alarmed. Your corner spider. You corner spider. I don't touch your webs. He says to the spider, don't get alarmed, you corner spiders. Spiders. I don't touch your webs. So he's
befriend all the creatures.
He's saying he's not gonna
getting friendly with sparrows.
He's not gonna bust open it. He says Isha was a careless housekeeper, rarely sweeping the tatami or even putting away his night bedding or futon. He's a bad housekeeper. He doesn't even clean out the cobwebs. What kind of guy is this? Then we go on, Kago no Tori. Ah, the sad expression in the eyes of the caged bird, envying the butterfly. Ah, the sad expression in the eyes, that caged bird, envying the butterfly. No comment. Kori hodo ta, to. The peony was as big as this, says the little girl, opening her arms. You see how those little girls open their arms?
What is a peony?
Flower. The peony was as big as this, says the little girl, opening her arms. Haiku no. Cherry blossoms make for haiku poets to exploit. Cherry blossoms made for haiku poets to exploit. I think he's getting critical of all the poets writing about the cherry blossoms here. He's saying a veiled attack on haiku poets who see flowers only as an excuse for writing pretty poems. Remember, he's at the end of the tradition, so he's probably seen quite a few poems about cherry blossoms. That's end of part 7. We actually have to do part 8 to probably finish, because we're doing one of the 4 great poets, ISSA, one of the 4 great haiku poets, reading from the classic tradition of haiku by Faubion, part 7.